Before you hear this story, imagine this. You walk into a remote village deep in the frozen wilderness of Siberia. Dinner is on the table. The stove is still burning. The food is still warm. But there's one terrifying problem. Every single person in the village is gone. No footprints in the snow. No signs of struggle. No explanation. Tonight, we're uncovering the mystery of the Siberian village that vanished overnight. Stay until the end, because the final detail investigators discovered makes this case even more disturbing. And if you enjoy strange unsolved mysteries, make sure you like this video and subscribe, because the stories only get darker from here. In the vast, frozen wilderness of Siberia, a region so large it stretches across northern Russia, isolation is a way of life. One winter morning, a supply helicopter was scheduled to land in a small, unnamed settlement hundreds of miles from the nearest city. These villages survive on scheduled deliveries. Missing one could mean disaster. But when the pilot landed, something was wrong. There was no one waiting. No children running toward the helicopter. No elders watching from windows. No dogs barking. The village was silent. When the pilot stepped inside the first wooden cabin, he found something unsettling, a bowl of soup sitting on the table. Steam still rising. It was as if someone had stood up mid-meal and simply disappeared. Authorities were contacted immediately. Within days, investigators arrived. What they found was even stranger. Every house was intact. No signs of forced entry. No overturned furniture. No blood. No struggle. Beds were unmade. Clothes were hanging on hooks. Personal belongings were untouched. Money was left behind. Passports. Family photographs. Even livestock remained in their pens, hungry but alive. And here's the detail that chills investigators the most: the village's central stove, used for heating, was still burning. Meaning the disappearance had happened only hours before the discovery. But in the snow-covered ground surrounding the village, investigators found almost nothing. No large trail of footprints leading out. No vehicle tracks. Just wind-blown snow, and silence. To understand how disturbing this is, you need to understand Siberia. Winter temperatures can drop below -40 degrees Celsius. In conditions like that, leaving without proper clothing is a death sentence. And yet many coats were still hanging by the doors. Why would an entire village, families, children, elders, leave abruptly without taking essentials? And more importantly, where could they have gone? The surrounding area is endless forest and tundra. No major roads. No nearby settlements within walking distance. If they had fled on foot, there would have been signs. But there weren't. Over the years, several theories have tried to explain the mystery. Military experiment. Some speculate the villagers were evacuated due to a secret military operation. During the Cold War, remote regions of Siberia were sometimes used for classified testing. But if it were an organized evacuation, why leave meals cooking? Why not inform neighboring settlements? And why erase all records of the village's existence? Natural disaster. Another theory suggests a sudden environmental threat, perhaps toxic gas from underground deposits. Siberia has regions with methane pockets that can leak unexpectedly. If villagers smelled something dangerous, they might have fled quickly. But again, why were there no bodies found nearby? And why were animals unaffected? Mass abduction. This is where things get darker. Some believe it could have been a coordinated kidnapping, though moving an entire population silently and without struggle would require enormous planning. There were no tire tracks. No aircraft landing marks. No evidence of force. And in freezing temperatures, any mechanical movement would have left visible traces in the snow. Yet there were none. Psychological panic. Could fear have spread through the village? Maybe a rumor. A perceived threat. A collective panic that caused everyone to flee into the wilderness. History has recorded cases of mass hysteria before. But panic still leaves chaos. And investigators described the village as eerily orderly, like time had simply stopped. Years later, satellite imagery showed something unusual. The village structures gradually collapsed from neglect, buried by snow and reclaimed by nature. But no official relocation documents were ever found. No death certificates. No migration records. No survivors stepping forward. It's as if the village never existed. And that might be the most disturbing part of all. In the frozen emptiness of Siberia, stories can vanish as quickly as footprints in the snow. An entire community. Gone overnight. Meals still warm. Was it a secret evacuation? A natural phenomenon? Something more sinister? Or is the truth buried beneath layers of ice, waiting to be uncovered? If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next deep dive into unsolved mysteries from around the world. Now I'll leave you with this: if you walked into that silent village and saw those warm meals on the table, what would you think happened? Let me know your theory in the comments below. Because sometimes, the scariest mysteries are the ones with no answers.